think we got to move back to 9 o'clock. I'm just not getting this 8:45 business.
I don't know what's so hard to understand or get.
I don't know, unless we.
Or is it the summer, and people are just a little busier? I don't know.
Busier in the summer? Shouldn't it be fakert?
I don't know.
All I can say is I take one day off and nobody mutes themselves. It's amazing.
We wanted to show how important you are.
Man, I was screaming on the Southern Stated people.
Yeah. How was the party last night, Peretz?
That was very nice. Very nice. I couldn't figure out what a Chanukah Sabayas is, if there's any Indian for it.
Yeah, try and answer this one. Yeah, huh?
Oh, Yaakov Tzvi, Shmuel wants to know if you can take the Sefer Torah after Tisha B'Av.
I don't see why not. I don't know. That's the time that might be used in mommy's house. But I guess if he needs it, for how long?
Not sure. Probably a week.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Also, Tziyaka with the Siyam, when's the best day for you?
I don't care. Whatever day is fine by me.
Saying Thursday, you don't have to check the errors. You don't want to do Thursday, right?
What?
Is Thursday better for you?
Thursday is too close. Thursday is too close, right? That's Ches? No. Zion?
I don't know.
Thursday before Shkia, there are machmirim that say you shouldn't make siyumim on fleishiks within 3 days of. What did you just do? What?
Okay, so Thursday's out. Okay, say.
No, I don't know if it's out. I mean, if you do it Thursday before Shkia, that's not 3 days, right?
Are we machmirim?
Some of us.
Okay, fine.
Tomorrow night, I might have to start earlier, but now it's really dissuading me. This late arriving crowd. I gotta say a shmooze. I have to say a shmooze for one of the yeshivas that's here in the camp. I don't know how I got suckered into that, but yeah. All right. Do we have a minion on yet? 9.
One short. There we go. Now we got a minion.
There we go. Okay, we're ready to roll.
Sure, you made a minion because you're always late. So you're at center by davening, by the staff, whatever. It's okay.
Wow, Ramaran. Wow, what a way to welcome a guy into Shir, I tell you.
He's my buddy, no?
Oh, what are we talking about?
I was thinking of a Marchuk who got beaten up by Ramaran.
All right, it's good. It's good. Okay, so on the bottom of Ayin Ches on the base. Right? No, we didn't do the 2 dots before that either. Yeah, Hamelach, sorry, first wide line.
Right. Yes.
Hamelach v'akala yirchatzu es pneim. So the melech and the kala are allowed to wash their hands. Right? Well, let me shut off this
one
ringing.
hour about the cooling yourself off with kids.
Yeah.
Maybe if they're so crazy wild and they're running around, they create like a whirlwind that cools you down.
Why? Wouldn't they get hotter?
No, they run around and they cause air to flow and they're jumping all over like Michigan.
Oh, you mean they're making like a fan? No, but this sounds like they physically are touching. You're physically touching the baby to you. I think. Okay, anyway, so Melech v'akala yirchatzu es pneim. So the Melech and the Kala wash their faces. Right, they're allowed to wash their faces within 30 days. Yeah. So Masnisin money. Who's the Tan of our Mishnah? So Rav Chananya ben Teradya, and it's Rav Chananya ben Teradya. The Tanya Hamelech v'akala lo yirchatzu es pneim. Rav Chananya ben Teradya, Mishum Rav Elazar Hamelech v'akala yirchatzu es pneim. So you see, it's a Machlokes Tanoim, and our Mishnah obviously passes like a that allows it. Achaya, loisinilus a sandal. A woman who just gave birth should not wear sandals. Or not even Taradi, not even Mishim Rebbe Lezer. Achaya tinilus a sandal. Achaya should put on sandals. My timer, right? So what's the reason? Now, why are they allowed to wash their faces? Melech mishum tichsiv melech b'yofi yisechazena yinecha. Your eyes should see a beautiful king, right? So he's got to wash his face in order for him to look nice. Kala my timer. What's the reason that a kala is allowed to wash her face? Kadei shalei taskano baila, so that she shouldn't look ugly to her husband, right? And after 30 days, what happens after 30 days?
Their
Right.
love is so great that it doesn't make a difference.
See, you look at the positive side. I look at the negative side. It
But
doesn't.
my wife
matter
is sitting next to me.
That's right.
You got to put a little. You got to type that disclaimer into the chat.
We should have
Yeah.
figured. We should have figured.
She keeps on talking in the background. It's not easy to learn.
There you go. So Rashi before.
Sviakov, I
We
thought
had
you were
this-
gonna say this is a riot to lace top shekels that the woman is supposed to look pretty for the husband.
Oh, that's Pashut. You're right. 100%.
Oh, okay, good. I'm making
100%.
sure.
You beat me to it.
Oh, good.
The problem is that they're saying that they're wearing the lace top shekels for everybody else, not for the husbands. But okay,
That's their
but
problem. That's their problems.
yeah. So, anyways,
Yeah,
Rashi before. Yeah.
I had a relative over, and Stamaz, I said, "Oh, is that a lace top shadel?" She said, "The fact that you can ask means it's not good enough."
Very good. Very good. So Rashi before says she needs to look beautiful until her husband starts liking her. Then she doesn't have to look so beautiful anymore. I don't know. That's what Rashi says.
So we're saying that
I
takes
ain't giving
30
them a base.
days?
30. It takes 30 days to be mechav her to her husband. Right? I don't know. That's the way Rashi says pshat before.
This is why there were Hasidim, that they only did the Bashoa. That if you dated a month.
Right. And Hanami. No, that's maybe why. I would think nowadays there's already a relationship, by the Litvish at least, which is okay, whatever. We're not getting involved in all that. Okay, so Amalei Rav Rabchia Kala Ad Kama. So how many days for a Kala? Amalei Kedetanya Ein Moinin Tachshitim Min Akala Kol Shloshim Yoim. We don't prevent a Kala from putting on makeup for 30 days. This is talking about a Kala who never loses her parent, right? So you continue, meaning right the day of the wedding. So you continue the wedding, right? And even though normally you have Avelus, but for this, we allowed it. We allow for 30 days. So therefore, she's allowed to wash her face for 30 days. Fine. The reason why she's allowed to wear shoes is because it's cold. The floor is cold, and the floor is going to cause her to get sick. Amar Shmuel, mutter. This is a big thing right here. I think we mentioned it yesterday. If somebody's going to put on shoes because he's afraid that he's going to get bit by a akre, by a scorpion, then it's mutter to wear shoes on Yom Kippur, even leather shoes, right? Which we said yesterday, the same thing. If it's rainy and muddy outside, you're allowed to wear leather shoes to walk home, right? But we said, but practically was manazeh that we have plastic shoe alternatives. Then yeah. Okay.
He's saying it's mutter if it's sakana to fashions?
What do you mean? Sakana akrev.
Sakana, is it a sakana to the nefesh?
What do you mean? No, he might die. No.
So what's the shot? Of course it's mutter.
No, because it's not for sure. It's a potential sakana.
Why is it just for her and not for everybody?
A potential sakana in Shabbos, you're allowed to call atzala, you're allowed to call, right?
Yeah, but it's not a potential. You're wearing a shoe in case an akrev will bite you. It's not pshat, meaning
just yes or no?
no. It's a chashash that an akriv might bite.
And if the akriv bites, what's the issue?
If it taka bites, then it's dangerous.
So if it's a sakana,
but it's a Rashi says it's a chashash. Right, it's a chashash.
So Yaakov,
Yeah.
if it's a shah, why would say he shouldn't go to shul. That's all if he has a shah.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that. Right. Is it better to stay home?
Yeah, who told me he
shul?
has to go to shul? No.
Right. Yeah. I hear that. I don't know, Tucker.
Didn't we have that? Or the person who has is traveling with diamonds or whatever. So instead, there was shilas if he could keep it in his pocket and go to shul. Then we learn that he stays home. It's better to stay home if he's worried about that. Or am I making it up? I thought we had
No, we've had it. I don't know if we had that case, but we've had it in other cases. That's yeah. Why should you put yourself? The same thing with a guy that needs a cane to walk to shul, but he doesn't really need it. He just uses it, and there's no eruv, right? So should he not go to shul and get into the shaila whether that cane, right? It's the zev. It's going to come up. It's going to come up later on in a few blocks when we talk about the sakonas on Yom Kippur. But the way I understand it is because there's a chashash akrav. So mele that's the chiddush. Meaning.
My shaila is if it's just a chashash, then okay, I understand. But if it's a chashash of something nefashis, then there's no chashash.
It's a chashash. It's definitely a chashash of sakonas nefashis, without a doubt.
Of course, it's mutter.
But it's a chashash only.
If somebody's worried on Shabbos that something's gonna chashash something nefashis, he's allowed to be mechal Shabbos.
Only if he's in.
So Zev,
yeah,
you're monitoring guns. It's not a child. The guys can carry guns.
If a guy walks into my house with a gun, and with it pointed at me, and I have a gun in the closet, yeah, I'm allowed to pick it up and shoot him.
I mean, aren't we veering off topic a little?
Carrying in the street, you according to you can. I mean, according to I could say also one could carry a gun, but you're saying it's poshut. It's not even.
Can I frame it differently a little bit?
Go ahead.
Zev, you're talking. There's a difference between actually physically being a matzav of suffix sakanas nefashis, or right now this guy is at home. There's no sakanas nefashis here. He wants to wear shoes to go to shul because they might happen upon a matzav sakanas nefashis. But the actual situation he's in is not sakanas nefashis. On Shabbos, when you can be mechal Shabbos, is only when something has happened and there is actual sakanas nefashis in front of me, even suffix sakanas nefashis.
If you read the Gemara, it says im machmas sakanas akrin. If there's a sakanas of akrin, that means that there are akravim running around.
That's what Rashi says. Makom sheyesh lachush la'akravim.
So that's where there's a lot of people, right? Where there's a lot of people with guns around you and pointing guns at you or akravim which are dangerous, right? And there's akravim are dangerous, right? If it's a place where it's very
right
common for akravim, so it's sakanas nefashis.
Right now at home, you're not in sakanas nefashis.
What?
Right
but
now,
when you
in
walk
your
outside,
house,
when you walk outside,
Zevi, you call me, I'll come over. Don't worry.
Anyways, but the sugya is coming up in a few more blocks when we talk about sakonas on Yom Kippur. Okay, but it's good. Also, you could be dayak Zev on kol adam. Mutter kol adam lino. Why is Rashi saying kol adam as opposed to what?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm saying so. I wonder if it means somebody who has nerves, the dafka that he might get, right? As opposed to maybe not everybody's scared of it. Maybe. Okay, let's go. So if you eat What's the shir achila on Yom Kippur? So it's much different, the shir of achila. The shir achila on Yom Kippur is very unique, that it's keseves agasa. So Bali Rapapa, so Rapapa has the shaila. Now on Talmud Aleph. Keseves shamru, the garinasa or below garinasa, is the keseves that we're saying. Is that with the pit or without the pit? I mean, it can make a big difference. If you put the pit in there, so then it's going to be the shear is going to be a lot bigger. If you don't put the pit in there, then it's a lot smaller. So that's shaila number one. Then by Ravashi had a shaila etzem kisa'ira. So we know that by tum and tara, if just a bone makes something tame if it's the size of a barley. So is that bikli pasa or beloikli pasa? Is it with the skin of the barley or without? The lecha? Is it with one that's moist, which means it's fresh? Or is it be dried out, which is obviously a lot smaller? So basically, we have two shilas here. We have Ravashi shaila, which is about the bone, which were two shilas, and we had Rav Papa's shaila about the keseves. So Ravashi, let me buy Rav Papa. Ravashi was not bothered by Rav Papa's shaila about the keseves. Gasa itmar. It says gasa, kol kama de gasa, which means as much as fat as it could be. Gasa literally means fat, right? So if you're saying that it's a fat dried fig, so that means you want it to be as fat as could be. How's it going to be as fat as could be? With the pit in there. Rapapa, so that's why Ravashi had no problem with Rapapa's shaila. Rapapa Ravashi, and Rapapa didn't have a shaila with it, but Ravashi's shaila, lecha shibailas mikri, because a lecha is called a shibailas. Shalaybil klipasa ushla mikri, and if it's not in its klipa, it's called an ushla, meaning it wouldn't be called a sa'ira, right? So since it calls it a sa'ira, so therefore it's not with the husk, right? And because otherwise it would be called a ushla. If it had the husk, it would be called an ushla, and if it was still fresh, then it would be called shibailas, not a sa'ira. Okay, fine. So Omar Rava, some change it to Rava. Omar Rav Yehuda keseves agasa she'amru. So the fat dried fig that we're saying. I'm sorry, I keep saying fig. It's a date. Keseves agasa. I don't know what the difference would be, but it's a date. Keseves agasa she'amru. Yisera mikabetza. It's more than a kabetza, right? Because we have different shiurim. We have kazayis. 2 kazaysim is a kabetza. And then after that, we're saying bigger than a kabetza is a keseves. The kimlu l'rabbanan, the bahachi meisva daita, right? Or miyasva daita, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, right? And the rabbanan say that the reason why Yom Kippur has a bigger share is because on Yom Kippur it's inui. So the way to be satisfied is to way to be over on Yom Kippur is to actually be satisfied. Just eat a kazayas, that's considered an achila, but it's not. You're not going to get a satisfaction. They would require the satisfaction to be chayav on Yom Kippur, so therefore it needs to be a keseves. So therefore it's bigger than an egg. But less than this, there's not going to be any yeshiva das. Not I'm called yeshiva das. I mean that's what it means, but it means like you're not going to feel good about it. Good. So right now we're saying that a keseves is bigger than a kibbutz. Now the Gemara has a long kasha. May say. So he asked the kasha from a brayso. Ma'aseh v'vi'u Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. This is a preview to sukkah. Yeah, Ma'aseh v'vi'u Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai l'tamis tavshil. They brought to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai to taste tavshil. But Rabbi Gamliel shtei kasavas delishal mayim. And to Rabbi Gamliel, they brought 2 kasavas, meaning 2 dried dates. Udli. I'm sorry, I think it's dry. It's not dry. 2 dates, udli shalmayim, and a bucket of water. Right. So they brought stam food to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and they brought 2 kasavos and some water to Rabbi Gamliel. For Amru and they said, "Helam the sukkah, bring it up to the sukkah," meaning that they held that they have to eat it in the sukkah. But Tani Allah, and we learned that the Lebibnei Shalach, not because they had to. And they wanted to be machmer on themselves to eat in the sukkah, even though it's achila sarai, and an achila sarai does not need to be eaten in the sukkah, right? And when they gave it to Rav Tzadok, he ate less than a kibetza, right? So they gave him they gave Rav Tzadok food less than a kabeya. Now there's 3 halachas that he did, that he was makel with. Not lubamapa v'achlu. Not lubamapa. He took the bread in a shmata, meaning he didn't touch the bread with his hands, which we'll get back to in a minute. V'achlu chutz l'sukkah, and he ate it outside the sukkah. And he didn't say birchas hamazon. So this is less than a kibetza. So he decided that he doesn't have to wash on that, right? But so then why, if he didn't have to wash on it, why is he wrapping his hands so he doesn't touch the bread? So Rashi says the only reason why he wrapped his hands is because he didn't want to. It was just for cleanliness. He didn't want his hands were dirty, and he didn't want to touch his food with his bare hands.
So there's a halacha we learn out from that because he only did it for cleanliness.
Yeah, there's no halacha. We don't learn any halacha out of that. But what it's referring to, that's what you might think without Rashi, is you might think that he really should have washed, but he decided not to, so he didn't want to touch his bread. Right? He couldn't wash for whatever reason, so he didn't want to touch his bread directly. Right? So
is it possible to say that hygiene is part of the halacha here?
Is it a halacha that you're not allowed to touch your food?
I mean, if his hands is dirty, it was dirty. Maybe that he's trying to they're trying to teach something else.
I'm not sure. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess hygiene. Maybe you want to learn out from that something about hygiene. Maybe I hear, but he's saying that he was just makel not to wash at all. So you would think that he didn't want to touch the bread because he wanted to be machmer out not touching bread, right? This is the famous, taking a road trip, and you don't want to go. You want to eat a sandwich, and you don't want to stop. So you wrap. So the big mistake that the Welt makes is that they keep the sandwich in a bag or in a foil and they don't touch it. That's a total farce, right? When the halacha is that if you have no water, if you're not within 18 minutes of water or 72 minutes of water if you're going in that direction, which you're almost always are nowadays, then you're not allowed to be saimach on the not touching the bread. 72 minutes ahead in the direction that you're going, you'd have to wait in order to find water.
And what's 18?
Right? 18 minutes out of the way, 72 minutes in the direction you're going. Right?
Okay.
So, but the
How
point
does
is
finding
that
them in?
If you're on a highway
say?
and you're in stopped traffic on the highway, does that 72 minutes come into play?
Yes, it's a time thing. Yes, there's a good
But
point.
you don't know how long
thing.
you're going to be in traffic for.
True. So then with Waze, maybe you could. Right?
Well, I mean, like if it's one of those traffic where you get out of the car because you're just stopped.
So then you would be able to. But here's the thing, the mistake that the Welt makes. You have to wrap your hands in something. You cannot just not hold the bread, like keep the bread in its bag. The hands have to be fully covered, forwards and backwards, meaning you have to be wearing gloves essentially, or put your hands inside a bag. Just not touching the bread does not work.
If you're on the BQE, it counts also.
Mastamba, yes. Or pick any highway. You know what? We could even say in front of Lowe's nowadays at the wrong time. Right? Anyways, yeah. So those are the 3 things that Reb Tzadok was making with Antom base. So mashma hakebeitza by sukkah. It's mashma, right? But if it was the size of an egg, then it does require a sukkah. And if you think that the kesevas hagasa is bigger, meaning the fig, the date, is bigger than is more than an egg. We're saying that 2 kesevas without the seeds wasn't a kibetza. Why? Because Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and Rabbi Gamliel didn't have to eat in the sukkah. We said they're being machmer to eat in the sukkah, so meaning they ate 2 kesevas. So let's just chazer again. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, yeah.
I'm sorry to bother you, but I remember this. Maybe Benny was there too, I don't know. But Avram Halpern's Ofruf was by the Niyabarta, and the Niyabarta did not touch the mezonis. There was the Kiddushiv, and he had the mezonis in a napkin. I have no idea why, but he didn't touch the mezonis. that happened. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew why. I found out later why. Well, I didn't know, but that Lamaisa happened. He didn't touch the mezainis.
Interesting. I wonder, Taka.
I may have been there, but I probably had Kiddush already.
It can sein, Dave. Yeah, it can sein.
And you probably had a lot more than just Kiddush, Mistoma. Anyway, so what do we say in the Brisa? That Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had two. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was given 2 kaisevises, right? And then we said Rav Tzadok was given less than a kibetza. And we said that they really didn't have to go into the sukkah, but they did it anyways, right? So hashta shtei kasavas b'loigarin and loy havi kibetza. That was not a kibetza, because if it was a kibetza, they would have to go in the sukkah. Kasavas agasa v'garin nosa miyavi yisera mikibetza. So how could you possibly say that one fig and its pit is bigger than 2 figs? Right? We said that 2 figs. Did I say figs again? It's dates. I'm sorry. 2 dates, right? If they said that 2 dates is less than a kabeya, how can you say that 1 date with its pit is bigger than a kabeya? Again, the Gemara said that a date with its pit is more than a kabeya. This brisa is very clear that two dates is less than a kabeya. So are you saying that 2 dates without the pits is bigger than 1 date?
Didn't we discuss by Pesach the different sizes or something? Someone else's size of a date.
Yeah. But there was no date. The question was whether our olive, the size of our olives changed.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's the kasha. So the teretz is Rav Yirmiyah Taka says, Amar Rav Yirmiyah. Rav Yirmiyah says he says yes. Shtei kasavos. Beloy gari nasan loy havi kibetza kasavos agasa. I'm sorry. Shtei kasavos beloy gari nasan loy havi kibetza. 2 kasavos without the pits is not a kabeya. Kasavos agasa v'gari nasa havi yisera kabeya. And a kasevas agasa with its pit is more than a kabeya. Right? So that what he's basically saying is that the pit is clearly so large in a date that a date with its pit is bigger than 2 dates without pits. That's what Yirmiyah is saying.
That's what he's saying? Or he's saying that there's a difference between kasevas and kasevas agasa?
It's either one. It's the same thing.
No,
because the taich of gasa is with the pit. The taich of
the way he says it is kasevas agasa v'garinosa. He taiches it differently.
Right.
So he's adding, not like the Gemara before.
Okay, so enochanami. So let's see a little weiter, and then we'll get clear. So Amar Papa Hainu Damri Inchi. This is what people mean when they say Trey Kavi de Tamri, 2 kavs of dates. Chad kava de kashyasa usriach is 1 kav of pits with a sriach a little bit more. Right? So that's what it's saying, that it's bigger. It's bigger. Rava has a different teretz. Hasam hainu taima. There, the reason why eating 2 dates is it doesn't need a sukkah has nothing to do. It's really taka bigger. It's a pre. Mishum davalu peri. It's a fruit. Peri loy sukkah. A fruit, you don't need to eat fruit, right? As everybody knows that travels on sukkahs, fruits don't need a sukkah. So we wanted to say that we're talking about that it needed a sukkah, bigger than the kebeya and all that. No, it was way bigger than a kebeya. 2 kasavos was way bigger than a kebeya. We're talking about fruit. So fruit, you don't need to eat in the sukkah at all. Now, I don't know if that's mashma that the first teretz holds that fruit does need a sukkah. I don't know. So Meisvei. So they asked the kasha, Amar Rebbe, because you know, like Torah, it's a Rebbe Elazar ben Shabua. When we were learning Torah about Rebbe Elazar ben Shabua, so they brought in front of us figs and grapes. Right. So first of all, you see from here, you can eat while you're learning. No, that doesn't sound like. Okay, but anyway, they brought us figs and grapes. And we ate achilas aray outside the sukkah. Achilas aray in, achilas keva lo. It's mashma that achilas aray yes, but achilas keva fruit you're not allowed to eat outside the sukkah. So my answer is ema achalnum ke achilas aray chutz the sukkah. What it means it's interesting how to fit this in. We ate like an achila sarai, like a temporary achila, chutz l'sukkah, outside the sukkah. Meaning, when it says that they were eating achila sarai, it's not. It wasn't talking about the amount of fruit, right? Yeah. So what it's saying is that amount is just is a temporary thing. Or you could say,
one second, what do you mean? It was talking about amount. It wasn't talking about a type.
What?
You mean
no?
It
means that we were eating
it.
We ate it as if we were eating bread in small amounts out of the sukkah. Meaning, just like bread, if you eat a small amount as an arai, you don't need a sukkah. So too, these fruits are considered arai, and you don't need to eat it, and you don't need to eat it in the sukkah.
So it's an amount. It's not the type of food that you can eat outside the sukkah.
No,
correct.
No.
What are you saying?
The opposite.
A small amount of bread, pachs mishia, could eat chutz l'sukkah. So any amount of fruit you can eat chutz l'sukkah. That's
correct.
What that's
right, exactly. Thank you. Right, because fruit in any amount is the same as bread less than a kibbeh.
Small. Okay.
Right. That's
is
one
the
thing.
Here, even Shivas Aminim, which need man shalish.
There is Shivas Aminim. That's what they had. They were eating Shivas Aminim.
What do you mean?
Right,
what you want to change the din? What's it? No, there's no. You don't change Shivas Aminim. Why would you change Shivas Aminim?
No, because it's man shalish rather than the bernafashis. That's the chiddush.
So I'm saying when man shalish, that's what
the bernafashis. I know you don't have to tell me. Man shalish is the same as benching. It's benching drabanan.
Right.
So it's not the same as benching.
Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as you said the word drabanan, it's not the same as benching.
Right. Okay, that's one teretz. They ate achilas keva, meaning they ate like enough for achilas keva. Chanu pas achilas arai behadayu, and we ate bread, a temporary amount of bread with it, chutz l'sukkah, outside the sukkah. All right, so that's what they ate, a little bit of bread, but a lot of fruit. Yeah. Yeah. So fine. So let's say this is a proof that fruit does not need a sukkah, lefikach, because it says lefikach im hishlim b'mini tagima yotza. So you're really supposed to eat 14 sudas, right, outside this in the sukkah. So if you ate mini tagima, then you're yotza. So if you sakadaita peri bo sukkah, and if you say that fruits do need a sukkah, lisni peris, why do you have to say targima? Targima means like mazoinus, right? Snacks. I don't know exactly how you touch it, right? These are the peri bo sukkah, lisni peris. If then why don't you say peris? I'm not sure why you. I guess peris is more common. Maybe is that the pshat? Why not say targima? I don't know. Yeah. So my answer is my mini tagima. What does it mean by mini tagima? Peris. It does mean peris, and then yes, peris do need a sukkah. Or you could say it's somewhere in a town that there's no fruit. There's no fruit, so therefore it's not an issue. Meaning that's why it's not an issue that you call it peris and they call it tagima. Zvid Omar, right? So now Rav Zvid is going back to the size of the keseves. Keseves hagasa shamru chosra mikabeitza. It's actually less than a kebeya. Right? The Tanan Beishama Yomrim, Sa'ar bekazayis, Sa'ar is a kazayis, right? Sa'ar is, what do you call it? Leaven. On Pesach, the shear of Sa'ar is a kazayis, and Chometz, real Chometz, is the keseves. Right? So that's a date, not Gasa, just a keseves. Vavina ba, my time at the Beishamai. What does Beishamai say? Why does he machalik? Nichtav Chometz. Why don't you say the word chometz v'loy by sa'ar, and then you don't need to talk about sa'ar, right? And then I'm going to say ma chometz shein chilul tzei kosher. Also because I is chometz chametz cannot make things, meaning it doesn't have leaven makes other things chametz, right? But this chametz, regular chametz doesn't make other things chametz. It's the kazayis. So sa'ar, what do you call it? Leaven shechimutze kasha like kasha came. That's for sure. It's going to need to be a kazayis. And this that the Torah calls some things sa'ar and some things chametz. Limdalach shir. It's coming to teach you shiuroi. I'm sorry, limdalach shiuroi shalzeh loish kishur shalzeh. That it must be that the reason why the Torah talks about sa'ar and chametz is because they have two different measurements. Sa'ar b'kazayis and chametz b'kaseves. Sa'ar is b'kazayis and the chametz is kaseves. Fine. So that's what he says. V'sak that the kaseves agasa shamru. You say the mikaveya, and if you say that a kaseves agasa is more than kaveya, right? Michti beishamay ashura the nafesh b'kazayis kamahadri. That means that beishamay is looking for a kazayis for something that's more than a kazayis. So then listen kibetza. So then why didn't the Torah just pick kibetza? Right? Meaning if we're just looking, we're saying that sa'ar is less strict than chametz. So if you're looking for a bigger shear, so it's got to be a bigger shear. So then why don't you say kebeya? And if you're going to say that an egg and a date are the same size, nisni kebeya, and why don't you say egg? It's much more common. The shear of an egg, saying the word egg is much more common than kaseves. Elalash mamina, kaseves tchusa mikabetza. Must be that a kaseves is less than a kabetza. Right? And the Gemara says, no mimai. Who says? Maybe the thick, the big, the large date is more than a kabeya. Hastama kabeya. But a regular date is the size of an egg. And even though they're both, even though the kaseves and the beya are the same size, it just decided to take one, either the egg or the kabeya. Right? So I don't get the kasha exactly. The meaning in the way we wanted to say the raya is that if you're going to say that a kaseves and an egg are the same measurement, then he should have used the word egg, right? Because egg is much more common. And now the Gemara is saying no, even if egg is more common, he could have used kaseves. So therefore, there's no proof that the kaseves is bigger than the beya. Okay, so that we don't have a proof. Yes.
I don't really understand the. Oh man, I don't really understand the kasha to start with. Just because you need two different shiurim, why can't it say sa'ir b'kazayis, v'chametz b'kazayis v'chetzi? Why don't you just pick a random shear? Why does it need to be a whole shear bigger?
What do you mean? What should it's got to be something bigger?
Kazayis v'chetzi. You do have that in Mishnayos, 1.5 kazaysim.
I don't know. You want to pick that? I mean, it's right?
It's arbitrary at this point. It just needs to be one shear bigger than a kazayis. The Torah doesn't say what it is. He's just picking a shear.
I don't know. I'm not sure. All right. You want to? Okay, but which one is the more common thing? Right?
What do you mean? What does it have to do with common? It just needs to be bigger than sa'ir. So I have
the
to
Gemara
shear
seems to be wanting to use common. Right?
Yeah, but what mehekatesi?
I don't know.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. Yeah.
Kosevis is a geschmacka word, Gesh.
Yes, that's a. I don't know if the Gemara use that as a raya, but fine. So Elamehocha. So it must be from here.
That's what the Gemara's teretz is. I mean, the Gemara's kasha really. The Gemara said, why does it?
Right.
If they're ki hadadi, then it should have said the word kabeya. So the Gemara's kasha on that is, just picked one of them. Elamai Baron's right, because that was the geschmacka word to use. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. So that elamach, we're gonna have a different raya. Ad kama mezamn. How much do you have to eat in order to make a mezuman? Now it doesn't mean a mezuman. It really just means birchas hamazon, right? So how much does each person have to eat? So ad kezayis. Rameh holds kezayis. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ad kebeya till an egg, which is double a kezayis. The mic, what's a machlokes? Rameh so chalta to eat it zu achila. That's eating. The savata zu shasiya. And eating and savata means drinking. Bachila the kezayis. And achila is a kezayis. But if you decide chalta v'savata is achila sheyesh b'tzvila. Right? It's a chalta v'savata, you dashin it together. It has to be an achila that has svia. What is that? Zeh kebetza. That's referring to a kebeya. And if you're going to say that kesevas agasa is that we said it's more than a kebeya, hashta kebeya sivui maspo, right? So you say that a kebeya makes you full. I'm sorry. Hashta kibetza misavadaita. Sorry. No, I'm reading it wrong. Back up on that. I apologize. You say to me kebeya, and if you say that the big date is bigger than a kebeya, hashta kebeya svui misava. If an egg satisfies you, daita loy miyasa. Is it not going to give you yishuv adas if you eat that amount on Yom Kippur? So elolav shmami no. So what must it be? Keseves agasa shomru pachos mikabeya. Must be that the keseves agasa was saying is less than the kebeya, right? Kebeya misava, and a kebeya satisfies you. Keseves misvidaita, and a keseves just gives you yishuv adas, but it's not as much as a kebeya, right? Meaning, so kebeya actually fills you up. A keseves makes you, gives you yishuv adas. The way you gotta understand it here is like, sometimes you just taste a little something and it calms you down. That would be a keseves. And a kebeya is like, oh wow, I'm actually full. Right? Fine. Okay, we'll stop here because the next Gemara is a whole new sugya. Yeah. All right. Are those announcements bothering can you hear those announcements that are going on in the background? Is it shter?
They're just in the background. It's no big deal. We hear you a lot louder than that.
Okay, good. Because otherwise, if they continue this, I'm going to have to find another place to do this. I'm being chased from one place to the next. Jesse, enjoy yourself, Jesse.
I wanted to acknowledge because we went the whole time without mentioning it. Jesse, enjoy your swimming tonight.
Yeah, Jesse, speaking of not having enough water, Jesse, what would happen if you ran out of water?
Yeah, we have plenty of water.
Jesse, maybe we should have to see him there.
It's fine with me, but I don't know how many of our guys I'm fitting in this little pool.
Oh, okay. I hear that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to run it down my Fine. Okay. Good to know, everybody.
Good to know.
Everybody.